Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Vasudevaya.
Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, third shloka. I will start with third shloka. Nigam kalpataro galitam phalam shukmukhat amritam dravya samyutam pibat bhagavatam rasam alayam muhur aho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Nigam
Nigamakantaro Galitam Phalam
shukmukhat amritam pibat bhagavatam rasam muhur aho rasika bhuvi. We'll read one line by line. Okay, then you can repeat. Nigam kalpataro galitam phalam.
Nigamakantaro Galitam Phalam
Shukamukhat amrita dravya samyutam. Pivata bhagavatam rasam alaya. Muhur aho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Okay, we'll read word to word meaning. Nigam,
Nigam
the Vedic literature.
Vedic
Kalpataro,
Kalpataro
the desired tree. Galitam, fully matured. Phalam, fruit. Shuk, Srila Shukdev Goswami, the original speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Srila Sukadeva Goswami, the original speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Mukhad,
Mukha,
from the lips of.
from the lips
Amrita,
Amrita
nectar.
nectar,
Dravya,
drava,
semi-solid and soft and therefore easily swallowable.
semi
and soft, therefore easily swallowable.
Samyutam,
Samyut
perfect in all respects.
Perfect in all respects.
Pibat,
Pivat
to relish it.
to relish
Bhagavatam,
Bhagavatam,
the book dealing in the science of the eternal relation with the Lord.
The
the
book
book
deals
dealing
with
of
such
the
eternal relation
Lord.
with the Lord.
Rasam, juice, that which is relishable.
Juice that is
Book
which is
that
relishable.
which is relishable.
Alayam,
Alayam,
until liberation,
Until
until
or even in the liberated condition.
or even in the
liberated
Moho, always.
Moho,
Aho, oh,
Aho, oh,
rasikaha,
Rasika.
those who are full in the knowledge of mellows.
Those
those who are in the
knowledge
knowledge of manners.
Bhuvi, on the earth.
To
on
be
the
on
Bhavukaha,
Bhagavatam,
expert in thought.
expert in thought.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. O expert and thoughtful man, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literature. It emanates from the lips of Sri Shukdev Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated soul. Purport in the two previous shlokas, it has been definitely proved that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the sublime literature which surpasses all other Vedic scriptures due to its transcendental qualities. It is transcendental to all mundane activities and mundane knowledge. In this shloka, it is stated that Srimad Bhagavatam is not only a superior literature, but is the ripened fruit of all Vedic literature. In other words, it is the cream of all Vedic knowledge. Considering all this, patient and submissive hearing is definitely essential. With great respect and attention, one should receive the message and lesson imparted by Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnana-Timirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunnilabdena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantam Sha Namah Krishna Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shanipadi Pashat Deshatari Pacha Kalpatarudasha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavane Vaishnavebhyo Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Akam Karoti Vachalam Pambam Langayate Girim Yatrapatam Shri Guru Devta Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishvara Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, third shloka of first canto, first chapter. And it's very nice shloka. Last week, Sudhir Gopal Prabhu also mentioned this and explained this shloka, right? So I was thinking we'll just read from the purport. It's very important also. So, okay. Translation, let's repeat. We'll just read once more time. O expert and thoughtful man.
O expert and thoughtful man.
Relish Srimad Bhagavatam.
Relish Srimad Bhagavatam.
The mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literature.
The mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literature.
It emanates from the lips of Sri Shukdev Goswami.
It emanated from the lips of Shukdev Goswami.
Therefore, the fruit has become even more tasteful.
Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful.
Although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all,
although juice was already
including liberated souls. Yeah, so Shukdev Goswami has tested this Vedic literature, and that's why it becomes more tasteful. So, I think some disturbance from Deepak Prabhu's, and I think, can you reduce Prabhu little bit some disturbance?
Yes, Prabhu.
We'll try. Okay. So we'll read Prabhu purport one by one. Avinash Prabhu, you want to read first?
Yes. In the two previous slokas, it has been definitely proved that Srimad Bhagavatam is the sublime literature which surpasses all other Vedic scriptures due to its transcendental qualities. It is transcendental to all mundane activities and mundane knowledge. In this sloka, it is stated that Srimad Bhagavatam is not only a superior literature, but it is the ripened fruit of all Vedic literatures. In other words, it is the cream of all Vedic knowledge. Considering all this, patient and submissive hearing is definitely essential. With great respect and attention, one should receive the message and lessons imparted by the
But Srimad Bhagavatam. Very, very important, no? This considering all this patient and submissive hearing is definitely essential. Prabhupada's writing. Patiently and submissively we have to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. With great respect and attention, one should receive the message and lessons imparted by the Srimad Bhagavatam. Not only hear, read, we should also impart the lessons into our lives. Okay. So very nice to hear. Prabhuji, you are reading regularly. Very nice. So, Deepak Raju, you want to read next?
Yes. The Vedas are compared to the desire tree because they contain all things noble by man. They deal with mundane necessities as well as spiritual realization. The Vedas contain regulative principles of knowledge covering social, political, religious, economic, military, medicinal, chemical, physical, and metaphysical subject matter and all that may be necessary to keep the body and soul together. Above and beyond all these are specific directions for spiritual realization. A regulative knowledge involves a gradual rising of the living entity to the spiritual platform, and the highest spiritual realization is knowledge that the personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all spiritual tastes or rasas.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, see, very nice thing here mentioned, like about the Vedas, and Vedas are compared to the desire tree. Means desire tree basically means anything we can desire, we can get it from those three, like Kalpa Vraksh. In the spiritual world, we have, we don't need to go to separately to, uh, like in the material world, if we wanted to have mango, we have to go to mango shop, or if we wanted to have something else, some sweet, so we have to go to sweet shop. But and then something else, if you want, we have to go somewhere else, right? So, but in the spiritual world, there is one desire tree, and that desire tree can fulfill all the desire. I mean, even if you want sweet or sour or whatever, savory or anything, basically. Anything, any desire you have, you can get from the one tree only. It's like, I think the small concept came with this concept only, that we have a right mall at one place, we can get everything. So, but anyway, that is still material, and this is like spiritual, the desire tree. So, and so Vedas, basically, Vedas are compared to desire tree. It means the spiritual knowledge, or the Vedas, the four Vedas have everything. Right, they deal with mundane necessities as well as spiritual needs. So it in the Vedas, Vedas are complete. Why it is said complete? Because it has all the even material and spiritual, both the knowledge, right? But the people are only using for their material well-being from the Vedas perspective, or even for that matter, from the religious perspective. Religion, they are becoming religious, or they're going to the Lordship only for bread and butter, right? Which is the only material necessity. But you should understand that we can get beyond that. Hence, the spiritual realization, the spiritual knowledge also we can get from the right. So, but what is written, Prabhupada, the Vedas contains regulative principle of knowledge covering social, political, religion, economic, military, medicine. Means every division basically has covered in the Vedas. Right here, nothing has left by Prabhupada. Like even social problems, or social political problem, or political issue, or religious or economic issues, or problems, anything like military, medicine, like chemical, physical, metaphysical, anything, any subject matter, all the subject matters are covered in the Vedas. Means everything, all the knowledge are there in the Vedas. That's why it is called the Vedas. Veda means the knowledge, and knowledge of everything. It's not only one section, but everything. So it's right, Rajdeep Prabhu, you can understand that. I mean, we basically, when we find some problem with related to some other things, right? We think that is not spiritual, so we won't get answers, or we have to take shelter of some other person, like doctor. If we are medically ill or something, we have to go to the doctor, right? Or if we have some emotional needs or some military related issue, I mean, basically that self-defense related issue or something, right? We go to the police or something. But everything is given in our spiritual discourse, scriptures, basically the way that. Basically, it means it doesn't mean we need not to go to like doctor when we are sick, but doctor means here also, like we know the Ayurveda, right? The Ayurveda is also the part of Veda. So there, that medicinal perspective is coming from the Ayurveda, and that is very ancient, and it is very authentic, and it is coming from uh, basically from natural sources, and from nature, from nature itself, we are getting this everything, medicinal plant and everything, right? So everything is there, and the knowledge of about those medicinal plant and other things are given in the Veda. Yeah, these things, the allopathy and other things coming now, and it's getting popularizing by now, but it is all, we should see that everything is given in the Vedas, and we should try, if we can take shelter of these things, the scriptures, we can get all of our problems solved, or all of our uh, questions answered.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay. So very nice. Okay, next we'll read.
Yes, Prabhu.
Avinash Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu.
Every living entity beginning from Brahma, the first born living being within the material world, down to the insignificant ant, desire to release some sort of test derived from
Your voice is very low, Prabhu.
okay. Every living entity beginning from Brahma, the first born living being within the material world, down to the insignificant ant, desire to release some sort of test derived from sense perception. These sensual pleasures are technically called rasas. The rasas are of different varieties. In the revealed scriptures, the following 12 varieties of rasas are enumerated: Rudra, anger; Saktu, Abhyuta, wonder; Snagara, conjugal love; Hasya, comedy; Veera, chivalry; Daya, mercy; Dasya, servitorship; Sakshya, fraternity; uh, Bhayanak,
Yeah, no.
horror; Bhivishta, shock; Shanta, neutrality; Vatsalya, parenthood.
Yeah, so these are the 12, basically the rasas overall, which we experience, right, as a living entity from our senses. So, and we wanted to have these rasas also. I mean, like not all. Sometimes, yeah, we don't want it to be horrified, horror. But these are the things, right? These are the basically emotion we get. Bhayanak ras is also there. Sakhya ras is there, right? Neutral, the Shanta ras, Vatsalya ras. So all this, there are 12 rasas basically that is given. Okay, next we'll read. Deeparaj Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. The sum total of all these rasas is called affection or love, primarily as signs of love are manifested in adoration, service, friendship, parental affection, conjugal love. And when these five are absent, love is present indirectly in anger, wonder, comedy, chivalry, fear, shock, and so on. For example, when a man is in love with a woman, the rasa is called conjugal love. But when such love affairs are disturbed, there may be wonder, anger, shock, or even horror. Sometimes love affairs between two persons culminate in ghastly murder scenes. Such rasas are displayed between a man and between animal and animal. There is no possibility of an exchange of rasa between a man and an animal or between a man and any other species of living entities within the material world. The rasas are exchanged between members of the same species, but as far as the spirit souls are concerned, they are one qualitatively with the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the rasas were originally exchanged between the spiritual living being and the spiritual whole, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The spiritual exchange or rasa is fully exhibited in spiritual existence between living beings and the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. So yeah, basically rasas are originally exchanged between the spiritual living being and the spiritual whole, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what Prabhupada is confirming, basically trying to make us understand that these are the rasas, but and we are as a part of spiritual being, right? Part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So we should try to exchange these rasas with the Supreme Lord, like which we know that in the Vrindavan, even when in the home Vrindavan, when Krishna is there in this material world, he came. He has these all the rasas. He is exchanging with his devotees, right? The Vatsalya ras with the Yashoda Mata, and Sakhya ras with the other Gopas, and this conjugal of the Shringar ras. He is exchanging with the gopis, right? And even Veer ras, he has tested with many demons, right? And similarly, all the other rasas, right? He has tested. So basically, all these rasas are not only are not for like our enjoyment, but to give the enjoyment to the Supreme Lord. Okay, next story, the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. Yes. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is therefore described in the Shruti mantras, Vedic hymns, as the fountainhead of all rasas. When one associates with the Supreme Lord and exchanges one constitutional rasa with the Lord, then the living being is actually happy. Okay, shall I continue? Next para also.
Yes, Prabhu.
These Shruti mantras indicate that every living being has its constitutional position, which is endowed with a particular type of rasa to be exchanged with the personality of Godhead. In the liberated conditions only, this primary rasa is experienced in full. In the material existence, the rasa is experienced in the perverted form, which is temporary, and thus the rasas of the material world are exhibited in the material form of Raudra and so on.
Yeah. So basically, from the Shruti mantras or from the scripture Vedic hymns, it is said the Lord is the fountainhead of all rasas, means he is the supreme enjoyer, or basically Lord is the actual Bhaktaram, right? Bhaktaram. So he is the he experiences basically all the rasas. In the material, but in the material world, we are in the material world and we can't experience all the rasas, and even that rasas like is in the perverted form, right? That's what Prabhupada is writing here. And we wanted to enjoy, we wanted to have those rasas, but sometimes uh, that becomes the anger, the Rodra, in the form of Rodra. Basically, we wanted to get something, and if we are not getting that, we are getting frustration, right? And because of that, we find ourselves in the angry mood. So basically, we got anger because of not getting that rasa, those things, basically what we are hankering for that. I think Mohit Prabhu also joined. Mohit Prabhu, Shobha Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you for
So,
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. So we are reading Prabhuji, so you can also take participate.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu, you can read them.
Sure, Prabhu. In this sloka, it is definitely stated that a spiritual rasa, which is relished even in the liberated stage, can be experienced in the literature of the Srimad Bhagavatam due to its being the ripened fruit of all Vedic knowledge. By submissively hearing this transcendental literature, one can attain the full pleasure of his heart's desire, but one must be very careful to hear the message from the right source. Srimad Bhagavatam is exactly received from the right source. It was brought by Narada Muni from the spiritual world and given to the disciple Sri Vyasadeva. The latter in turn delivered the message to his son Srila Sukadeva Goswami, and Srila Sukadeva Goswami delivered the message to Maharaja Parikshit just 7 days before the king's death. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a liberated soul from his very birth. He was liberated even in the womb of his mother, and he did not undergo any sort of spiritual training after his birth. At birth, no one is qualified, neither in the mundane nor in the spiritual sense. But Sri Sukadeva Goswami, due to his being a perfectly liberated soul, did not have to undergo an evolutionary process for spiritual realization. Yet, despite his being a completely liberated person situated in the transcendental position above the three material modes, he was attracted to this transcendental rasa of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is adored by liberated souls who sing Vedic hymns. The Supreme Lord's pastimes are more attractive to liberated souls than to mundane people. He is of necessity nor impersonal, because it is only possible to carry on transcendental rasa with a person. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu. So yeah, this is important passage, paragraph. Very nicely, Prabhupada is saying, in this shloka it is definitely stated this, that is spiritual rasa which is relished even in the liberated stage. So basically we are talking the Nigam Kalpataru, right? This shloka Nigam Kalpataru Galitam Phalam Shukmukhad Amrita Dravya Samyutam means basically Pibat Bhagavatam Rasam Alayam, right? So this ras, right, the mellows of this Srimad Bhagavatam is even it's more sweeter and it's very relishable even for the liberated soul, right? That's what there it is. There, that's what it is given in this passage paragraph. Experience even in the liberated stage due to its being the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge. So it's because it is ripened fruit. So it is all the Vedic literatures topmost ripened fruit is the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, and by submissively hearing this transcendental literature, one can attain the full pleasure of his heart's desire. Right? This is very important. Submissively, we have to hear this transcendental literature, and then we can fulfill all our desires, right? Fulfill the pleasures of heart. So, but we should understand that we should not hear from anything and this Srimad Bhagavatam from anywhere or from anyone, right? We should hear from the parampara, right sources. So that is also very much important. We should understand that Srimad Bhagavatam, which is spoken. So Prabhupada is explaining here about the parampara system, right? The lineage from the Narad Muni, and it's and even before that, it is coming from the Krishna himself. Krishna imparted this knowledge in the heart of the Brahmaji, right? We have understood from the first shloka of this Srimad Bhagavatam only, that in the heart of Brahmaji, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikave, right? So the heart of Brahmaji, the Lord has imparted this knowledge. And then from Brahma to Narad Muni, and from Narad Muni to Vyasdev, and from Vyasdev to Shukdev Goswami, and like that to Maharaj Parikshit, and like this knowledge is coming in the parampara, and we should also understand and hear from the bona fide sources only. Right? And then this about the Shukdev Goswami. Prabhupada has explained his quality, that he was the liberated soul, basically, right? But still, he got uh, attached or attracted by this, the pastime of Lord Krishna, by this transcendental literature. So once, this story that the Shukdev Goswami, as soon as he took birth, he just ran to the forest, and he was not interested in this material world. He was not interested in anything of this material world. So he was just running to the forest. But then Vyasdev sent his servants, one or two servants, and to recite this two shlokas from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And those two shlokas were narrating about the Lord's compassion and Lord's beauty. So those two shlokas, when Shukdev Goswami heard, he got attracted so much that he asked them, who has compiled this and who is this person? So then they told that this is from your father only. He will tell you more at shlokas. So just come to home. So like that, once because of these very nice shlokas, which are explaining the pastime of Lord and the beauty of the Lord Krishna, he got attracted with those shlokas, and then he come to home, and then Vyasdev has narrated whole story, whole Srimad Bhagavatam to Shukdev Goswami, like that. So, okay, we'll understand. We'll read more. Yes, Deepak Rajpuru, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are narrated, and the narration is systematically depicted by Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Thus, the subject matter is appealing to all classes of persons, including those who seek liberation and those who seek to become one with the Supreme Whole. In Sanskrit, the parrot is also known as sukha. When a ripened fruit is cut by the red beaks of such birds, its sweet flavor is enhanced. The Vedic fruit, which is mature and ripe in knowledge, is spoken through the lips of Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who is compared to the parrot not for his ability to recite the Bhagavatam exactly as he heard it from his learned father, but for his ability to present the work in a manner that would appeal to all classes of men.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah, next, Avinash Prabhu, the subject matter.
Yes, the subject matter is so presented through the lips of Srila Sukadeva Goswami that any sincere listener that hears submissively can at once realize the transcendental test which are distinct from the perverted test of the material world. The ripened fruit is not dropped off or dropped all of a sudden from the highest planet to Krishna Loka. Rather, it has come down carefully through a chain of disciplic succession without change or disturbance. Foolish people who are not in the transcendental disciplic succession commit great blunders by trying to understand the highest transcendental rasa, known as the rasa dance, without following in the footsteps of Sukadev Goswami, who present this fruit very carefully by the stages of transcendental realization. One should be intelligent enough to know the position of Srimad Bhagavatam by considering personalities like Sukadev Goswami, who deals with the subject so carefully. This process of disciplic succession of the Bhagavata school suggests that in the future also Srimad Bhagavatam has to be understood from a person who is in a actually a representative of Srila Sukdev Goswami. A professional man who makes a business out of reciting the Bhagavatam illegally is certainly not a representative of Sukadeva Goswami. Such a man's business is only to earn his livelihood. Therefore, one should refrain from hearing the lectures of such professional men. Such men usually go to the most confidential part of the literature without undergoing the gradual process of understanding this grave subject. They, they actually plunge into the subject matter of rasa dance, which is misunderstood by the fullest class of men. Some of them take this to be immoral, while others try to cover it up by their own stupid interpretation. They have no desire to follow the footsteps of Srila Sukadeva Goswami.
Hare Krishna, yes. So yeah, here Prabhupada is mentioning very important thing, like in to study the Srimad Bhagavatam, we should have followed the footstep of Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Basically, he has how he has narrated the Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. The same way we should understand it and we should follow it. Basically, from the first canto, we should read. We should try to understand first, second, third, and then slowly and gradually we should come to the 10th canto, which is the which is the most confidential subject matter, basically. In the 10th canto, what is there? The pastime of Lord Krishna is there, right? So gradually, we should not. We should not directly go to the 10th canto and read the Krishna's pastime or the gopis, Krishna's Ras Leela and dance, those things basically, right? Ras dance. So those narration directly, we should not go and read, but we should understand. We should gradually progress in this Srimad Bhagavatam reading or hearing also. When we are understanding it from the Tattva, right? From Tattvata, when we understand who is the Supreme Lord Krishna and what are his activities, what is basically about other activities of Lord in terms of the creation, maintenance, right? And then when we hear from his glories from other devotees, like in fifth canto and seventh canto, Prahlad Maharaj story is coming. Fourth canto, Dhruv Maharaj stories are coming. Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj are very great devotee of Lord, and they have how they have did this bhakti process and how they got the mercy of the Lord, right? So those things, when we understand, and we gradually understand the glories of the Lord and Lord's devotee, and then we should understand the subject matter, which is very confidential and very intimate pastime of Lord Krishna with his loving associates, right? So gradually we should understand this, and then when we understand everything, then it is like it is the right process basically. Otherwise, we may misunderstand those things. Like in many places or many the Kathakar, they are doing this, and even Prabhupada is saying this is not a profession, right? The Bhagavatam recitation or the Bhagavad Sapta and other things people are doing nowadays, and that they are doing it as a profession. They are going many places, and want so much money, so much of arrangements and other things. Definitely, some kind of arrangement is required if we are doing some big program, Rampanda program or whatever. But at least those who are narrating the katha, they don't charge anything. If they are not charging anything, then they are following the footstep of Shukdev Goswami. Otherwise, if they are asking some good amount of money or something, some other luxury thing or whatever, so that means they are just doing as a profession. So that is not the right way actually to propagate and to receive also that this Srimad Bhagavatam subject matter. Okay, we'll read Mohit Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu. One should conclude, therefore, that the serious student of the Rasa should receive the message of Bhagavatam in the chain of disciplic succession from Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who describes the Bhagavatam from its very beginning and not whimsically to satisfy the mundane who has very little knowledge in transcendental science. Srimad Bhagavatam is so carefully presented that a sincere and serious person can at once enjoy the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge simply by drinking the nectarian juice through the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami or his bona fide representative. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So it's very clear, Prabhupada is mentioning, right? The thing what we have just discussed, that yeah, we should understand it in the disciplic succession, right? Chain of disciplic succession. And the person basically who is following the Shuddha Goswami or this line of disciplic succession, he won't say anything whimsically out of his mind or just to please the basically the public, right? The mundane people. He won't say anything to satisfy the people in general, but he is narrating the pastime of Lord just to please the Lord and to serve the humanity. That that should be the aim, actually. Okay, so let's any question or comment in this shloka first. We'll just address that. Otherwise, we'll move to the fourth shloka. Anything? Anybody has any comments or question? Hema Mataji also joined. Hare Krishna Mataji, you reached home?
Yes, Prabhuji, just now only, just few minutes back. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah. No question? Okay, no comments. Any points? Nice point you would like to bring it in the forum? I mean, the same point.
That point related to the parrot who eats only ripened fruit is very, I mean, it's very good. Like he is compared to Sukadev Goswami, and when Sukadev Goswami has tested this nectarian knowledge, so anybody, like people in this world, they should take that advantage of I mean, with submission, and with submission they should take this knowledge as very ripened fruit to for self-creation.
Yes, Praveen. So yeah, the parrot has tested this. Basically means if any parrot has tested the fruit, that becomes more sweeter. So here, like Shukdev Goswami, Shuk means the parrot in Sanskrit. This Shuk word is used for parrot, and here Shukdev Goswami has tested this ripened fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why it becomes more sweeter. It's very nice to hear. Even the liberated souls are hankering for hearing the narration of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, so let's move to the fourth shloka. Any other thing? Any comments or questions? Fourth. Okay. So now from fourth, so basically, what was the chapter's name? This first chapter name is the question by the sages, right? So sages are supposed to ask some 6 questions in this. Means we'll read the 6 questions from the sages of Naimisharanya who ask 6 questions to the Sud Goswami. And to start, they are just setting the scene for the sages in verse. So this is the from 4 to 8. There is the setting of the scene, and then questions will come from the sages. So let's recite this. Nemishe animesh kshetra. Nemishe animesh kshetra. Rashaya shonaka daya. Tatram swargaya lokaya.
Antram swargaya lokaya.
Sahasrasamam asuta.
Sahasrasamam asuta.
Okay, we'll read but 1 minute. Nemisha
Naimisha.
In the forest known as Naimisharanya.
In the forest known as Naimisaranya.
Animesh Kshetra.
Animesh Kshetre.
The spot which is especially a favorite of Vishnu.
The spot is especially a favorite of Vishnu,
who does not close his eyelids.
who does not close his highlights.
Eyelids.
Eyelids.
Rasya.
Rasya.
Rishya. Sages. Shonaka Adaya.
Shaunaka
Headed by the sage Shonaka.
headed by the sage Shaunaka.
Satram. Sacrifice. Swargaya. The Lord who is glorified in heaven.
Lord who is glorified in heaven.
Lokaya.
Loka.
And for the devotees who are always in touch with the Lord.
And for the devotees who are always in touch with the Lord.
Sahasra. 1000. Samam. Years. Asata. Perform. So read the translation. Once in a holy place in the forest of Naimisharanya, great sages headed by the sage Shonaka assembled to perform a great 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord and his devotees. Okay. Purport.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. So basically, okay, we'll read the purport and we'll understand. Yes, Mataji.
The prelude of the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken in the previous 3 slokas. Now the main topic of this great literature is being presented. Srimad Bhagavatam, after its first recitation by Srila Sukadev Goswami, was repeated for the second time to Naimisaranya. In the Vayavya Tantra, it is said that Brahma, the engineer of this particular universe, contemplated a great wheel which would enclose the universe. The hub of this great circle was fixed at a particular place known as Naimisaranya. Similarly, there is another reference to the forest of Naimisaranya in the Vradha Purana, where it is stated that by performance of sacrifice at this place, the strength of demonic people is curtailed. Thus, Brahmanas prefer Naimisaranya for such sacrificial performances. The devotees of Lord Vishnu offer all kinds of sacrifices for his pleasure. The devotees are always attached to the service of the Lord, whereas fallen souls are attached to the pleasures of the material existence. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that anything performed in the material world for any reason other than for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu causes further bondage for the performer. It is enjoined, therefore, that all acts must be performed sacrificially for the satisfaction of Vishnu and his devotees. This will bring everyone peace and prosperity.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So basically, yeah, so what I was saying that Prabhupada is writing here, we can understand from this, that the prelude of Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken in the previous 3 shlokas, and then now the main topic of this great literature is being presented, basically the questions by the sages in the Naimisharanya. It will be revealed here. And about this Naimisharanya, the place, this is the place even in India, even now also it is there. Yeah. And this is also given basically this Naimisharanya name of this place is also coming in the different other different Puranas and different literature also, like in the Vara Purana also this is mentioned about Naimisharanya, and there these demonic people, they have basically they have done some sacrifice and they have got, basically this is the pious place, right? And the like the Kurukshetra in the war where the war of Bharat has happened, right? So that place also it is called Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra, right? Some of you use first shloka only of Bhagavad Gita. So why it is called Dharma Kshetra? That's because that is the place where many other sacrifices is done. So even in this Naimisharanya also, many sacrifices has done, which is making it more prominent and more prized place. So here, but this about the sacrifice also should be for the pleasure of the Lord Vishnu and his devotees. That's what Prabhupada is writing here in this, right? So otherwise, it is bondage, right? If in the Bhagavad Gita we read this, we understand this, that if we are doing some yajna, it should be done for the pleasure of the Lord. Otherwise, it will make it bound us in the bondage, right? In this material world. Otherwise, it is cause of further bondage for the form. Basically, how it is bondage? If it is good thing, also we have to come to the material world, right? If it is bad, definitely we have to go to maybe in this material world, or I mean in this material world, or maybe in the lower planetary system, where like the Naraka and other things, where we have to suffer, right? But even in this, basically for enjoyment also is like suffering. So that's how we should understand that. Yeah, that is the cause of bondage. If it is not done for the pleasure of Vishnu and his devotees, that performance, and then only it will bring the peace and prosperity, right? If it is done, that sacrifice is done for the satisfaction of Vishnu and his devotees. Okay, so next paragraph you can read. Yes,
The great sages are anxious to do good to the people in general, and as such, the sages headed by Saunaka and others assembled at his holy place of Namasaranya with a program of performing a great and continuous chain of sacrificial ceremonies. Forgetful men do not know the right path for peace and prosperity, however, the sages know it well. Therefore, for the good of all the men, they are always anxious to perform acts which may bring about peace in the world. They are sincere friends to all living entities, and at the risk of great personal inconvenience, they are always engaged in the service of Lord for the good of all people. Lord Vishnu is just like a great tree, and all others, including demigods, men, siddhas, charanas, vidyadharas, and other living entities, are like branches, twigs, and leaves of that tree. By pouring water on the root of the tree, all the parts of the tree are automatically nourished. Only those branches and leaves which are detached cannot be so satisfied. Detached branches and leaves dry up gradually despite all watering attempts. Similarly, human society, when it is detached from the personality of Godhead, like detached branches and leaves, it is not capable of being watered, and one attempting to do so is simply wasting his energy and resources.
Hare Krishna. So yeah, this is another very nice point Prabhupada is mentioning. The great sages are always anxious to do good to the people in general, right? So this Shonak Adi Rishi, right? So basically, the sages of Naimisharanya, they are at holy place Naimisharanya, and they are there for performing this great sacrifice, basically sacrificial ceremony, and they are doing for the good of, I mean, for welfare of the people in general, right? For the well-being of all the people, and there since and therefore for the good of all men, they are always anxious to perform acts which may bring about peace in the world. So those who are pious, those who are holy people, they have this kind of understanding, or their act is like to make peaceful environment everywhere, right? Yeah. And then here the Prabhupada is writing about this very nice thing, like Lord Vishnu is just like a great tree, and all other, including demigods and other like living entities, are the different branches of the trees, right? So basically, this example we give, right? When we are pouring water to the tree, all the branches, all the twigs of that tree are getting nourished, right? We are not giving water to each and every part of the tree differently, separately. We are just giving water to the root of that tree, and all the other parts of the tree get nourished automatically, right? Because they are connected to the root, right? They are connected to the tree. So, similarly, Lord Vishnu is the root or the great tree of all the living entity, including demigods and all the siddhas, charanas, vidyadharas, all the basically everyone, right? So that's why when we are pleasing the Lord Vishnu, all the other limbs of that tree, all which are connected, right, with Lord Vishnu, all the demigods, uh, all the other different entities, right? Everyone will be pleased, everyone will be satisfied, and everyone will be in happy mood, right? Everyone will be nourished, everyone will be satisfied, right? So, but again, there is question that so is this enough to basically, I mean, it's not, let me put it like this, like if we are satisfying the Lord Vishnu, like we are chanting, right? And if we are chanting, so because of our chanting, everyone should be satisfied, everyone should be happy. But we are not seeing uh, sometimes in our day-to-day life, right? When we are traveling or any other places, many people, they are not satisfied, they are not happy, they are struggling, right? They are having some distress or misery, right? So even we are also we are chanting, we are chanting the name, we are trying to please the Lord. And when we are hearing here that if Lord is pleased, everyone will be pleased, right? Everyone will be satisfied. But people are not satisfied. So why they are not satisfied? Any question? Any reason for that? Any thoughts on that? Why people are not satisfied? Because of our chanting, also people should be benefited. That's what it means here, right? So we should understand in this next line, right? Detached branches and leaves dry up gradually despite all watering attempts. So basically, those who are detached from the Lord, right, they are not getting nourishment. So as we see in the dried leaves, right, nowadays we can see so many nice flowers are blooming in Bangalore and other parts, I think also. And there are leaves. There is no leaves practically in those trees, right? So those leaves are detached from those trees, but those flowers which are connected to the tree, they are getting nourished and they are getting the water, right? So they are blooming very nicely, but those leaves, they are drying up, right? So similarly, if we are connecting to this tree, the Lord Vishnu, the great tree, right? If everyone is connected to that tree, so if we are giving root, if any devotee or anyone is giving water to that root, basically chanting or the pleasing the Lordship, right? Pleasing the Lord Vishnu. So all the limbs of connected to the and the Lord Vishnu, all the human beings, all the living entities connected to Vishnu will be nourished, right? If they are not connected, they are detached, they will get dried up. They won't get nourishment. They won't get satisfaction. So this is how we should understand that. Yeah, definitely when we are doing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, those who are connected to Lord, we see also, right, when we are going for Nagar Sankirtan and chanting, right, those who are inclined to religious activity or those who are pious, they get uh, joy, they get bliss, when they see the devotees dancing and doing kirtan. But those who are not connected to Lord, they just blast him, or they say, "Oh, what is this? They are doing like traffic jam or whatever, right?" But those who are devotee of Lord, they appreciate it. So that's how we can understand this. Right? So very nice point. Okay, let's complete this. And then, yes, Mataji or Avinash Prabhu, you want to read? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, you can read.
Yeah, I will read. The modern materialistic society is detached from its relation to the Supreme Lord, and all its plans which are being made by atheistic leaders are sure to be baffled at every step. Yet they do not wake up to this. In this age of congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the prescribed method for the waking up. The ways and means are most scientifically presented by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and intelligent persons may take advantage of his teachings in order to bring about real peace and prosperity. Srimad Bhagavatam is also presented for the same purpose, and this will be explained more specifically later in the text. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Prabhupada is again emphasizing about the holy name, right? The congregation chanting of the holy name of the Lord is prescribed method in this Kali Yuga, and that is the call for waking up other living entities also and ourselves also. The ways and means are most scientifically presented by Lord Ji. So this, the chanting, the congregation chanting of holy name is the very much scientific approach, right, which is given by the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and intelligent persons are taking up this, right? From the Bhagavatam 11th canto, this shloka comes, which is talking about the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is that shloka? Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangasta Parshadam Yajne Sankirtan Praya. Let me open it. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangasta Parshadam Yajne Sankirtan Praya. Krishna Varnam. Eleven 532 is this shloka. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangasta Parshadam Yajne Sankirtan Praya Yajantihi Sumedasa. So in this age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregation chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companion. Right? So basically, Krishna himself comes as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he comes with his all other accompanied by his other associates and weapon and confidential companion. Basically, weapon is here Sankirtan Yajna, right? Sankirtan Yajna he is doing, and who will take it up? In this Kali, intelligent persons perform this congregation chanting to worship the incarnation. Yajanti is Sumedasa. So Sumedasa means intelligent person. So certainly Sumedasa, the intelligent person, will take it up. So this is what is given in brief by Srila Prabhupada in this paragraph. Okay. So I think it was nice discussion today. We'll read more from next, from 5th shloka next week. Any question or comment from today's discussion? Hare Krishna, anything anybody would like to say, or any question or any comment, anything you would like to share your reflection or something?
Prabhuji, just that verse, can you take, Prabhuji? I wanted that before that intelligent person, no, there was another thing before that para, before that line. There was one this thing, Prabhuji, about the so these people. So can you just take that once, Prabhuji? I was not not this
Yes.
one, Prabhuji, that Bhagavatam.
Okay. Yes, Madhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Can you go down, Prabhuji? That before that, the modern materialistic society is detached from its relation to the Supreme God, and all its plans which were being made by artistic leaders are sure to be baffled at every step. This is what I was not able to understand. What if they do not wake you up to this?
Yes, Madhu. So you, what is the question, Madhu? You couldn't understand this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is same thing, Madhu, what we were discussing, right? Those who are detached, right, from the Lord, or they are not in the religious path, or they are not following the Lord Vishnu, right? Basically, the modern materialist society. The materialistic society is detached, right? Nowadays, they don't consider there is supreme power who is running everything. Right? They wanted to negate this concept that there is no Lord, there is no God, right? So that's the modern society, and because of their this thing that they are detached from the relationship to the Supreme Lord, they are trying. I mean, they become the atheist, right? And because of that, all its plans which are being made by atheistic leaders are sure to be baffled at every step. Yet they do not wake up to this. Basically, we can see there are. I think we can understand this by understanding that these materialistic people, they are making so many plans, right? Planning, like in the sense they're constructing many big buildings or whatever, right? But in a one earthquake or any natural disaster can baffle that whole building, right? So that's what we can understand here, that whatever they are making the plan of getting this material world as a better place, but that they are not understanding that this can't be done with. I mean, they have to get it in the connection with the Supreme Lord, to please the Supreme Lord. If they are not doing anything or everything for the pleasure of Supreme Lord, that will go in the vain. That will be destroyed by the will of the Lord and by the nature, basically, right? And nature is the energy of the Lord only. So nature will play his role and a role, and it will it will show that uh, to this atheistic society that you can you need to understand that there is some supreme power which is playing or controlling everything. We are not the controller. So this is what we should understand.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So even after they come down, also they are not able to understand what it is about. That is a thing, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mata. I mean, basically, we can understand, like, see that we have just. I don't know if we have overcome, or I mean, if we have crossed this, but I think I'm seeing the news of corona cases again increasing, right? So the same thing, the corona came, and many people got understanding. They understood that there is some supreme will, and we can't do anything, and there is some supreme controller who is controlling this thing, and we can't go. We can live our life anytime, right? Because of this small virus, right? and that is nothing but we can understand that Lord's energy only. And if we are not understanding this, or we are not in the great the proper consciousness, we will be ruined, right? We will be taken away, right? So even so, why basically we should contemplate, and we should understand that many things because of many cow slaughterhouses, many slaughterhouses are running in public and the market, right? Openly, being it is different entities like whatever, right? Other living entities, not even cows, but other living entities also, right? So many are commercialized and they're selling it. So those people is still not understanding that because of we are eating, we are killing the animals, these things will come up, right? So that's what if even we are seeing so many disasters, we are not waking up. We are not understanding that why it is happening, what's the reason. And because of that, it is written here, like Prabhupada is writing, they are not waking up. Right? They do not wake up to this. They are not understanding. So that's what I mean. At least as a devotee and as a the people who are in goodness, they should understand. And we have seen, I think many people got changed also. They got realization after Corona. At least many people we have understood, and we have seen that they have turned up to the Lord, turned up to the to understanding the Lordship, to understanding why it is happening to me, or who is that supreme power, what is my relationship with the supreme power, right? So there's that thing. Some people are understanding, but still, the materialistic people or those who are do that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
In one of the purport I have read from Srila Prabhupada that Krishna consciousness and material consciousness cannot go together. Just a minute, Prabhuji.
Yes.
What I was saying.
Yes, sir.
My kid is shouting. Okay. So they cannot go together. So one person who is more material consciousness, they cannot, turn back towards God. So they will be always like choosing the path of desires and sense gratification. So, but one person who is in Krishna consciousness, whatever material things happens, that will not affect them. So I think that this information I had read somewhere in, I don't remember which purport, but I had read it from Prabhupada's purport.
Yes, Prabhu. Very nice point, actually. Yeah, that's right. I mean, materialistic people are very much engrossed. Like even when we were not part of Krishna consciousness, right? We are also doing everything in and around the materialistic way only, right? But that's the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his devotee Srila Prabhupada, right? That he has created this very nice society worldwide where we can live, we can understand, and we can basically come out of this materialistic mentality, right? The consciousness, the Krishna consciousness. When we are coming out of this material consciousness to Krishna consciousness because of the devotee only, right? Because of the mercy of the devotee, then only we can understand this subject matter.
Yes, yeah, this is very nice. Only with devotees mercy they can turn back to spiritual consciousness.
Yeah,
Out
otherwise
of
it's very difficult. Correct. Otherwise, it's very difficult and it's very possible only, right? But because of compassionate devotees, compassion of the devotees, the mercy of the devotees, we are coming out of little bit. Still, we are balancing. We are trying to balance, right, the material things and Krishna consciousness. But yeah, the struggle will be going on. But, we have to hold this Krishna consciousness, and we should just walk with the devotees, so everything will be nice. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. Anything else? Anybody?
So, Prabhuji, when are you going to Vrindavan?
Vrindavan Mataji next week, no, not next week, sorry, 22nd from IBC devotees are going.
You are not going?
I am not going, Mataji. 22nd Saturday, yes, Prabhuji, Avinash Prabhu, 22nd Saturday only in evening, devotees will travel, right? We are planning on 22nd only. There is
Next time I'll do. Because from London, I was not able to do anything.
You want to join, Mataji?
Yes, but 22nd of April will be difficult. I have 22nd of April going and then coming.
Next week, 29th, the 30th.
Oh, my daughter is coming. That's a problem. She'll be
Oh.
here on 26th.
Okay. Yeah, Mataji, but all the arrangements and booking also already closed, so I don't know if, but you have to make your own. Yeah, if
From
you want
there,
to
it
go.
is difficult, Prabhuji, to do anything. It's okay, next time.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Then we'll close here. We'll pause the discussion and then we'll meet next week. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।